Make sure you tune in every Monday through Thursday for therapy session. Every Monday through Thursday is therapy session. Friday, we got Friday Night Live with an occasional Freaky Friday. And then Sunday nights, we have Sunday Night Live. Both Friday and Sunday are live call-in shows. Make sure you tune in. Also, go ahead and get your merch as well as your Hustle Fit gear. It is all right there. Hustlefit.com is the website. If you don't know it, get to know it. And without further ado, thank you for tuning in to another episode of No Cap Reacts. I'm your man Bailey, a.k.a. Mr. Go Get 'em. And we are live with another episode of Therapy Session. And tonight, I have a special guest in the building. She accepted the invite. She decided to go ahead and jump on the big screen and become part of the hottest podcast right here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's just as hot as the weather. Scorcher, she says she all about the...
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And she's ready to, talk her shit, speak her piece, and let the world know who she is. Yes, it's that time.
It's time.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and let the world know who you are.
Hello. I'm Ciara. Nice to meet y'all.
And Ciara, if they want to find you, where can they find you at?
Y'all can find me on social media at Divine, Divine, Little, Littleccic.
Okay. So she got the name Little in her name. And as you guys see from the couch, her and Baby Yoda is almost the same size. She tried to pick on him earlier. I'll tell her to leave him alone. All right. How's your day today?
My day has been good. I went to work. It was a chill day. Went to the gym, and now I'm here.
All right. So you get a random DM from a random guy saying, hey, have you ever been on a podcast? And what made you accept the challenge, shall I say?
Well, I've always wanted to be on a podcast, so I was really glad that you asked me. I got a lot of shit to talk, so I'm ready.
Uh-oh.
I don't mean that in a bad way, I just got a lot to say.
Well, this is the platform for it. This is the one platform where you can come here, talk your shit, say what you got to say, get it off your chest, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, whatever the situation is. This is where you can come do it at. We keep all things anonymous. We don't use names. But outside of that, talk your shit. So, what are some of the subjects that you wanted to cover tonight?
Let's see. I'd love to dive into cultivating healthy relationships. I feel like the stage of my life I'm at right now, I got a lot to say about that. Fitness, wellness, spirituality, personal development. I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Okay, so well, we gonna get into all of that. All right, first and foremost, where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Maryland.
Maryland. Murderville. Maryland is lit, depending on what part you in. Some parts is real. I've been to Maryland, so some parts is real ghetto, and some parts is real cool. But y'all got that bounce. Y'all clubs is jumping. Skate parties off the chain. Y'all be juking out there.
I suppose.
She's like, nah. What? All right. What made you move to Arizona?
I wanted to get out of my comfort zone, experience living somewhere new. It was time for something fresh, and it was time to create my life the way that I see fit and the way that I feel called to do so.
Okay, how long have you been in Arizona?
I got here, January 2021, so don't ask me how many years that's been. I'm not good at math. maybe, what is it, almost 3 years now?
That would be 2 years and some change, but yeah, it's almost 3 years.
Okay, so okay.
All right. What do you think of Arizona so far?
I love it. I love the weather. I left Maryland when it was about to be a really big snowstorm. I was really tired of the snow and the cold, so I love that it doesn't get too cold here in Phoenix. I don't mind the heat. I can take the heat for a good couple months, and then it's right back to great weather, the sun. I love the weather, but I feel like the culture here, the community here has been very welcoming, very open-minded, supportive, loving. So I feel like I found everything that I came here for and more. So Arizona has been great to me so far.
Okay. So now that you are here in good old Phoenix, Arizona, what have you been doing with yourself?
What have I been doing with myself? I have been there, the sun, finding my... what's going on?
Don't pay attention to that.
I have been finding myself, okay, and realizing that I was never lost in the first place. But to bring it back down to earth, I have been trying new jobs, getting into some business endeavors, trying different business ideas out here. I have gotten into acro yoga and modeling, and I've made great friendships, and now I have things to do on the weekends that I didn't have in Maryland. Yeah. I guess, yeah, that answers the question.
So what was it like growing up in Maryland?
What was it like growing up in Maryland? I mean, I don't know. It was nothing too special. I had a good little life, good little childhood. It was cool. I mean, I never, like, when I was in grade school, I was never living in the area in which, wait, how do I put this to make it make sense? The school that I went to was never the school that I was supposed to go to. So I always lived a little farther away from where I went to school. So my social life wasn't great, like in grade school growing up. Okay. But, you know, I was in the extracurriculars. I did cheerleading in high school. I was a cheer captain, okay. And, yeah, I mean, it was cool. I don't really know what else to say about growing up in Maryland. I mean, it was cool.
Okay. What would you say are some of your fondest Maryland memories?
Fondest Maryland memories. I would say college. College for sure. I went to Frostburg State University. So all there was to do was party and drink in the snow, in the mountains. But aside from that, my education there really set the foundation for where I am going in life and where I am now. So college for sure. Let's see.
What did you study? What did you study in college?
Kinesiology.
Kinesiology. Ooh, muscles.
Yes.
Basic,
yes.
Well, tendons and all the...
Yeah, pretty much like exercise science, all that good stuff. Anything to do with the body, the study of movement, all of that. So college for sure. Then I would say cheerleading. Cheerleading was another like really big and great highlight and memory for me. Just being a part of the team and doing competitions, and that was just a great time. Let's see. And then I'd say number 3 would be like memories I had with my grandmother. Growing up, going camping with her every so often, going on little vacations here and there with her, just around the DMV. Yeah, I'd say those are my top 3 memories.
Okay. So now that you in Arizona, you're living life, you're doing things that you usually wouldn't do. You've made friends, you've created this, you're now officially a part of the modeling world, right? How did you get into that?
did I get into it? I'm trying to remember. And it wasn't that long ago. Let's see. So let's say a shout out to Lotus. So I danced in Lotus. She is a choreographer, creative director. She does all the things. I was a part of her dance video, Lipstick Lover, The Reimagination. And from there, I believe she pitched the opportunity to be in a show called No Sex in the Champagne Room. Okay. She posted the casting call details. And I was like, oh, this could be my opportunity to get into this kind of stuff. Because I've always wanted to model, but being 4'9.5", you know.
Say that again. How tall are you?
4'9.5". Okay, being 4'9.5", the modeling world can definitely be a little discouraging. I just remember, like, I don't know how old I was, but watching the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. And I looked up how tall you got to be to do this, what your measurements got to be. I was like, hold up, I will never be that tall. I will never look like that. And I just remember, like, this, like, feeling as a kid, like, damn, I'm never going to be able to do it. So,
you know the crazy part?
What?
You know how women always say, I want a man that's 6 foot tall? That's how all the 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", even the 5'11" guy feels like I'm never going to be that.
Hey, I get it. Look, I mean, listen, you just gotta be taller than me, and you know that's easy. So it's not hard to please me with the height. So it's okay. I get it. So back to my story. As a kid, I just remember like feeling like I'm never going to be that tall. So when this opportunity, you know, came my way and I learned about it, I was like, okay, let's go for it. Let's do it. And Miss Judy Parker and Tony Wheaton, they are, you know, producing the show. When casting call time came, I got some cold feet, and I messaged Miss Judy after I registered, and I was like, listen, girl, I don't feel like I'm experienced enough for this. I'm gonna sit this one out. Y'all can do your thing. I hope you have a great show. And you know what she said? She said, no, you are not. You're not backing out. She told me, like, don't be intimidated. We're all beginners at something. Pretty much the message was to allow yourself to be a beginner at this. And so I was like, okay, I'll go for it. So I went to the casting call. It was so fun. Very unique casting call. No pressure. It wasn't too serious. Nothing too crazy. And I felt competent enough to do it. And as soon as I started practicing and doing my thing before, you know, I actually went to audition, I was like, this comes so naturally to me. I hadn't really tried, like, put some heels on and tried to walk since, like, high school, like, when I was in modeling and acting school, and I didn't really do anything with that. So I was like, dang, I remember this. Like, my inner child was very satisfied, and she came out and did the thing, and now we here. So No Sex in the Champagne Room is coming up, and then I got a couple other opportunities that I have taken the initiative to, you know, go for, and those are coming up as well.
All right, so you said high school is where some of these aspirations came about. Mm-hmm. Okay, what was one of the first things that you did in high school that made you go, okay, I might want to do this?
Let's see. Can I remember? I don't even know if I can remember. I did that little thing, Barbizon. I don't know if y'all know what Barbizon is, but it's that modeling and acting thing. They used to be at the malls and like recruiting people.
Yes, they were annoying. It was like them right next to glamour shots. Yes.
So I talked my stepdad into letting me do this and paying for it and funding it. So he did. And like once I got to, you know, the little, I guess I don't even know how often I went there. Like it's kind of blurry. I don't really remember. But I just remember being in the little school and they taught us how to do our makeup and we put on a little fashion show. And I was like, this is fun. I feel beautiful. I feel great. And the little girl in me seeing like the models on the TV, like, you know, just like, okay, now I realize it. I recognize their confidence, and that was something that I wanted to experience and have for myself. But at that age, like, you don't have the greatest confidence, you know, like, it's there, but it's not, like, it's still a little iffy. But yeah, I just remember, like, how I felt when I was doing it, and that was something that I always wanted to embrace more, and yeah.
All right. So would you say that modeling then is different from what you are currently doing now?
Yeah. I would say so. You know, like when I was doing it then, I was wearing little frilly dresses and whatnot. And you know, the first show that I'm walking in, No Sex in the Champagne Room, I mean, the name of it,
y'all ain't wearing too much. That is one of those situations for sure.
Yes.
And from the behind the scenes of what I've seen, you like to be in the mix of it all.
I do.
So elaborate on that.
Okay, so let me just preface the show with saying it is not all nasty, ratchet booty butt all over the place. Okay, we are doing lingerie, and
He needs some milk.
and embracing our bodies as art. All about the body positivity, owning your sexuality, your sensuality, and again, in a classy way. So yes, we're going to be in lingerie. You're going to see some booty. Maybe you see some titties. Maybe you see a bunch of other stuff too. But it is about the energy that we are bringing to this production that makes it everything. So, I don't really remember what the question was. What was the question?
I said, it seemed you were in the mix of it all.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You definitely have personality. You're definitely bubbly, and you are definitely seems to be in touch with your sexual side. Let's just say that.
Yes.
Your sexuality.
Yes. At this point in my life, I have nothing to hide. Okay, like I have embraced my sexual energy, my sensual energy. It's not something that I feel ashamed of. It's not something that I feel like I need to hide. So we here with it. And, you know, it's always going to be people. It's always going to be people when you own that part of yourself that are going to feel some type of way about it. But that's not my problem. It's not.
So in doing such a show, has that brought about any negative attention, activities? Random dudes sending the wrong pics in the DMs, anything such as that?
You know, I believe that I am protected from such activities, okay, because you would think so.
He needs some milk.
But I've gotten one, like, I've had one weird conversation. I just blocked him after. I had posted, like, the first photo of me in the lingerie from the content shoot that we did. And he was like, he messaged me. He was already on some creep shit before, and I was like, I already know he's going to get blocked, but, like, let's see what he got to say. So he had said...
Let's entertain the fucking.
Yes. It's fun sometimes. It's fun. I'm like, what are you going to say? What is going to come out of your mouth?
Okay.
So he had messaged me and was like, oh, I got a question. And I was like, what's up? So he was like, what did he say? He was like, you shaved the line in your private part and didn't put a question mark at the end. It was like, it was a statement. You shaved the line in your private part. And I was like, yes, I did. What about it? You can see, like, if you're zooming into the picture, you can see it slightly.
Wait, who's...
I don't know him.
See, to me, this is the red flags, okay?
It is.
This is... You shouldn't be zooming in on the pictures.
Exactly. It's not that serious.
Two, you clearly are not getting anywhere, or any attention at least. Because if you are, you wouldn't be worried about such said situations.
Exactly.
And...
Exactly.
To start a conversation off like that is all in the wrong manner.
It is. So when he said, I was like, I did. What about it? Like, that wasn't a question. What's your question? And he was like, well, I'm asking. I didn't understand the question because you know that I did because you zoomed in and you said it. So I just didn't know where that was going. So blocked immediately. That's like the only thing though. Like everybody else, all of my loved ones, my friends. Let's not say all of my loved ones because my family don't really know. My family knows I'm modeling. They don't know there's a lingerie finale. But I think they'd be okay either way, but I mean, this
is the thing. It's lingerie.
Yeah.
Right? And I know fantasy in it. I know Queen. Mm-hmm. I know Tatiana in it. I have now had Michaela on the show. Mm-hmm. So I know quite a few people there. I know quite a few people that are also going to be there hosting and being a part of the whole show. And, I mean, even in just seeing it, there's nothing about it that made me personally just go, like, straight to, like, make it out to be something super sexual or try to sexualize it. Because, one, I'm a grown-ass man. Two, I do have a sex life. I'm not out here struggling. So I don't need to go online to harass women because I seen them in some lingerie. Right. So, out of this so far, have you received any other potential jobs that are coming out of this?
I have. Yes. I was trying to think. Yes, I have. Okay. Yes, it's just giving me a little bit more exposure, you know. So, done some good things. Done some good things for me.
Good. And that's the whole reason even this show is to get you some exposure, get you out there. I'm not gonna lie, ladies and gentlemen. So even when I saw her in the video, I was like, oh, she's little, right? And you guys know the smallest person that I've had on this show so far is Rizzo. Well, Rizzo, I think I think Rizzo's an inch shorter than you actually, which is the crazy part. She's 4'8". Is
she? Yeah.
Yeah, she's 4'8", so you're 4'9".
I was just with her like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so the crazy part is like literally when I pulled up to come grab her, it was like deja vu. Only you're a little darker, shorter hair. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm like, wow, okay, here we go. Y'all, you little people be fun. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So I know it's gonna be a great show. Mm-hmm. So tune in, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's get into some of the juicy thing. You say fostering good relationships. Cultivating, which means growing into.
Yes.
Okay. Now I don't know if you've seen some of my clips. A relationship seemed to come up on this podcast a whole lot. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm significantly older than you, and
what?
They call me like the king of relationship talk, aka Kevin Samuels Jr. without all the attitude.
Okay.
So this is going to be interesting because when I do have conversations about dating, one of my main purposes of having those conversations is to get people to understand what dating is. Mm-hmm. Right now we're in a world where men are pitted against women and vice versa. And they're continue this, especially in our culture. They are doing their best to keep us separated.
Yep.
So that's the first thing. In that, and in you seeing that, and being a few generations behind me, how does that actually make you feel?
That they're trying to pit us against each other? Is that what you're... You know, it's sad. It is. But just like with everything else, the people who are meant to see through it and work through that are going to do it, and the people that are meant to fall for that trap are going to fall for it. And I've just accepted that.
Okay, great answer. So you say cultivating relationships. Like, what would you do, or how do you think you could change things, or what would you do differently that would help make relationships better today?
What would I do differently, personally, or just in general?
In general.
The first thing I'd say is figure out like what you want from your relationships. You know, like we are meant to just be connected to just be in each other's presence. We don't necessarily have to do anything for each other, but you can't just have people just sitting around in your life just to sit around. Like, you need to be intentional with why you are allowing people to have access to your energy and why you yourself are indulging in their energy. Figure out what you want from your relationships, your friendships, your dating life, your romantic life, all of that good stuff. Like, figure out what you want. You know, because if you don't know what you want, the world is just going to give you whatever.
Well, if you don't know what you want, you're also wasting someone else's time.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
I'm going to take my shoes off because I'm going to just sit crisscross.
As long as they don't stink, we good.
They don't. I just took a shower. I'm clean.
Okay, in dating today, has it been an easy situation for you? How about that?
Easy? I'd say no. It's definitely been a challenge. But like I don't regret anything. And I don't harbor resentment or any ill feelings towards things that I've been through, people that I have been connected to. I feel like everything has happened as it was meant to. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it has been a little bit of a challenge, but we working through it.
Okay. In the future, like, where do you see dating in 10 years from now?
Dating?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It could go either way. Again, like I said, the people who are meant to see through and work through that trap of them trying to pit us together, they're going to do that. And they're going to be, including myself, we are going to be in love, okay? Like, we are going to be operating off a level of love that, like, you can only imagine. And once it's in front of you, it's just going to be great, right? In our friendships, in our romantic connections, like all of our connections, we just gonna be in love, okay? And then the people who are falling for the trap, they're gonna be lonely, probably, in unfulfilling relationships, and wondering why nobody loves them.
It's gonna be one of these situations. Mm-hmm. Okay. Currently, in the state that we're at right now, 45% of women in the world, and this is all races, are currently single. They're saying by 2030, it'll be up to 50%. Right now, we are already in the beginning stages of what they have called the she-economy. The reason they're calling it the she-economy is, well, right now we live in the economy, and they call it the she economy is because women currently today hold 75% of the debt. The longer they keep women single, the more money you guys spend because you guys like to travel. You guys love your brunches, your shopping, your medis, your petties, your hair appointments, your frivolous shopping as well, right? Nike is a part of this. Sephora is a part of this. Mac is a part of this. The Lululemon, some of the larger brands that a lot of women, I would say, sponsor, aka buy from, are supporting this and pushing this message, which is why they're doing their best to keep men and women apart. And hearing that, how does that actually make you feel?
Again, it's like, damn, but like, the more you know, the more you can be proactive towards it. Like, we can't let them win. Like,
So like the message of don't even think about marriage till you're 30, right? Now the bad part about that is you have a biological time clock for having children.
Exactly.
So if you're not even thinking about marriage till 30, which in most cases a lot of women are pushing men away, they're experiencing things in the world, which 9 times out of 10 experiencing means trauma, because you're still dating, you're still having random sex and hookups, frivolous relationships that you know have no future because, again, you're abiding by the don't even think about it till 30. Do you think that's going to have a positive or negative effect for women in the future when it has already been proven that men find women most attractive between the age of 18 and 26?
negative, for sure. I mean, we're getting the short end of the stick. Yeah, like that is, it's true. We do have a biological clock. Like 30 is like, okay, you kind of got to know like where you're going in the next couple years, who's coming with you, who you're following, who you're letting to take the lead. You kind of got to be there. So no, I definitely think it'd be negative. Like short end of the stick for sure. It is really sad, that last fact that you pointed out, which I'm very well aware of, that men find us most attractive between 18 to 26. And it's just not fair. Because y'all get crusty, musty, dusty too. Okay, but like, we can still find love for you.
But see, like, here's the thing though, right? So the reason do you understand that women find men the most attractive between 35 and 45?
Yes.
Okay, now here's how that works out. You reach your beauty peak at the ages that men find you most attractive. Mm-hmm. Men find their financial peak at the ages that women find men most attractive.
Yeah.
So, like, this is the thing. We base women off of beauty, and you guys base off of status. Because at the end of the day, do you want to fuck with a broke man?
No.
Exactly. Because that man, at the end of the day, his job is to provide for you.
Yes.
So,
yes.
In knowing how that works, and knowing how women look at men, and then how men look at women, is it really a horrible thing for a younger woman to date an older man? Why is that considered to be so taboo when things actually align and fit together best?
I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't find anything wrong with that.
Now, the crazy part about it is if you flip that, if Stella wants to get her groove back and she's 45 to 55 and he's 20 to 25, it's an amazing thing, and no one frets or bats an eye and tells her that she's like. Do you think that the fact that society has created these double standards, that, like, yes, it benefits you, but at the same time, it actually doesn't benefit you?
What? Say that again. Say the question. What's the question?
Okay, so the society today has created these double standards. Mm-hmm. So the double standard literally is like you can do and have whatever you want to in your later age, right? Mm-hmm. With a younger man that has nothing to offer you. Mm-hmm. But it's a double standard because, one, that means that you're single at that age, which is not a good thing. Two, it's a younger man which has nothing to offer you. Why do you think that double standard has become so popularized?
Why do I think it's become so popularized?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know how to answer that. I don't know why people do what they do. I mean, maybe because people don't they don't recognize that it's a double standard. I don't know. I mean, I guess this is based off my opinion, so there's no right or wrong answer. But I guess I'll say that, like, I feel like people don't necessarily realize how much of a double standard it is. Because, like, I knew these things, like, very much on the surface until you were talking to me about them right now. And I'm like, oh, these are the facts. These are the statistics. Like, boom. I didn't really realize how, like, not deep it went, but, like, how the magnitude of it.
Yeah.
So maybe people just aren't as aware, and they're just really perpetuating these double standards without really realizing, like, hey, this is what it is. Like, maybe just chill out a little bit.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: you said 26, right? Mm-hmm. And you're 26 years of life so far. How has men held you back from doing anything you want to do in life? Has that happened at all?
How have men held me back?
Yes, and have men held you back?
Have they? No. I was one holding myself back. If a man was ever in the mix or in the situation in which me being connected to him was hindering my growth or where I was in my life, it's not his fault. I chose to fuck with him. So a man himself has not ever hindered me. Me choosing to continue messing with a man has hindered me. Or seeing red flags and acting like it was a circus. Or giving someone the benefit of the doubt when my intuition was like, maybe not. You know, like, that is what got me caught up. But not the man himself. I take radical accountability for my life, my choices, the people I allowed to stay in my life, the people that I choose to be associated with. And it's all a learning process. So at the end of the day, it's me. Me.
We talk a lot about we need to heal in therapy and making ourselves better, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think has created so much trauma for so many people to have to consistently fix themselves?
I feel like it's the fact that, okay, so you said consistently fixing ourselves. I feel like it's because in the first place, people aren't willing to take a look at themselves. If we were, and I don't think that it's the fact that we have to fix ourselves. It's just that we have a lot to work through. Like, we have a lot of karma to work through. We have a lot of generational trauma to work through. Our generations previous to us, they don't even, like, the concept of therapy. I'm not crazy. I'm not going. There's nothing wrong with me. But, like, I can count in a 5-minute span things that you do that are a trauma response, but you don't got nothing wrong. Like, it's just things you need to, it's just things that our ancestors and generations previous to us have not worked through, that it is now on our plate to work through. Otherwise, you know, these things are just going to perpetuate and continue and repeat and repeat and repeat. And we're going to feel like something is always wrong with us while we're, like, on the outside telling ourselves, like, oh, I'm good. But, like, no, if you just sit down, take a look at yourself, it's really not that serious. It's just things that you need to work through. You need to understand about yourself, get to the root of it, and moving forward in your life, just be aware of your triggers and why you are the way that you are. But yeah, I think that the reason why that is just because of the unwillingness to look at yourself. It's very scary to do such a thing. You know, like, you can look at the good parts of yourself, but looking at the bad parts of yourself or the things that you inherited from your family, behavior-wise, trauma-wise, whatever, it's scary to take a look at. So, yeah.
All right. What do you think some of the things from our ancestors are currently affecting us today? We call them generational curses. What are some of those things that you think are still running rampant that are perpetuating some of this trauma today?
Two concepts come to mind. I would say one is like a lack and scarcity mindset. Whether that comes to does that make sense? Whether that comes to money.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether that comes to money or life choices or where you can take your life. I'll insert my own personal example. When I first decided to come out here to Arizona, a lot of my family was like, no, like, because I was still living at my mom's house. They were like, oh, no, like, you get you an apartment, down in Bethesda, Silver Spring, whatever. And that's still in Maryland. That's still a little bit close to home. And they're like, yeah, you can, that way, like, you can be safe. You'll be all right. And I was just like, no, like, I don't want to. I don't want to play it safe. Like, I'm all right with the risks. Like, I want to go big or go home. Like, it's not, there's no, like, let's just go around the corner. Like, no, I want to be here in Arizona. And a lot of people try to talk me out of it. And then, like, when it comes to my goals that I talk about having for myself or the amount of money that I'd like to have one day, my family's like, oh, that must be nice. Like, I could never do something like that. And I'm like, why not?
So do you think it's just a thought process and that we tentatively put these things on ourselves that really aren't even theirs, like invisible lines? Like me personally, I look at our culture and I go, we have the exact same things available to us that everybody else does. But instead of us going and taking those things, we would rather make excuses and talk about 400 years of oppression. We would rather talk about the slave mentality. Everybody is against us. But then we watch everybody around us become more successful. Okay? Like, clearly right now, you have taken the steps to remove yourself from your location where everybody else was at. Pretty much, I think we can all say, if you grow up in a place, especially an urban place, you watch people do the exact same thing and repeat the same things over and over again. You removed yourself to build yourself up, and you're doing so. And then, like, even your family's like, oh, I wish I could do it, when really all it is, it's a thought process. It's a mind frame. It's it's to break the chain of you don't have to stay where you're at.
Yeah, it's definitely a mindset thing. It's the programming and the lack of awareness that there even is a program running in your mind that's holding you back. Like, it's so automatic. Like, you literally have to, like you said, break the chain, whatever it is, break the curse, break the chain, interchangeable language. But that's literally what you have to do, and you also have to pause and be present with yourself long enough to notice that there is a program running. So yeah, it's definitely in the mind. It's also in the body too. Like, our body holds a lot of emotions and it weighs us down, and a mind, body, spirit, all connected. So one thing's holding you back, best believe it's affecting other parts of yourself as well.
Which goes into spirituality. All right, what are your thoughts on spirituality?
That's a very broad question. Can you be more specific?
What are your thoughts on spirituality? Like, what you obviously have a belief in spirituality, right?
Yes, I do.
I have no idea where it's at, so it's hard to be specific until you can give us.
I see. Okay.
Where are you at spiritually?
Where am I at spiritually? I'm all for spirituality. I feel like, if you think about having a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset, I feel like spirituality falls along the lines of having a growth mindset, growth mindset. I feel like it leaves a lot more room for you to be yourself without shame and judgment. And I mean that as opposed to religion, Christianity specifically. But yeah, I'm all for spirituality. I mean, I'm spiritual as hell. But it's not something that I like wear on my sleeve. Like, hey, like I sit at my altar and pray to my ancestors every night. Like, I don't need to wave that flag around. Like, it's just part of who I am at this point. And yeah.
How would you say your spirituality affects your life?
I would say my spirituality is a superpower for sure. It allows me to have a channel of connection and communication with beings, energies, aspects of the universe, if you will, outside of myself, right? Like, I am in tune with my intuition, and, when certain things come through, and like, oh, I should do this, I should do that, I need to talk to this person, I need to journal about this. When things come through, and I call them my intuition, I believe that a lot of it is also like my ancestors talking to me, God, the universe. I use those terms like interchangeably, God and the universe. I don't like to like assign one thing all of the power, because I leave room for the fact that I don't know everything. I don't know, I don't know who or what God is. But if I had to guess, I would say God is a woman.
You think so?
Yes.
So you think God made man first?
I don't think so.
So wouldn't that go against the entire belief of what the Bible is?
But you gotta think about it like this: the Bible, we don't have access to all of the Bible, and the Bible was also written in parables, not literally.
No, it's not. The Bible is clear. So here's the crazy part about the Bible. Okay, so the Bible itself was initially written in Hebrew, right? Hebrew does not translate into English. So because Hebrew does not translate into English, it is a little bit broken. But for the most part, it's all there. And I learned Hebrew in my early 20s in order to be able to read the Bible as such. And like, there was no atom. Atom is more so like atom, like the atom that we use today, which is multiple molecules, because it was mankind and womankind. Well, I can't say Americans, but modern day society has made it into Adam and Eve, which is one man and one woman, which wouldn't make sense because that makes the whole world ancestral, which is totally against his law, right? So, like, if I'm a woman, me personally, I'm making a woman first. I wouldn't make a man first.
Yeah.
But if we're going off of biblically speaking, that would go totally against everything. To the fact of the positions and the roles that we hold in life as men and women, I don't think a woman would too much go for that.
You don't think? Wait, so you're saying you don't think that a woman would make a woman or a man first?
I think she would have made the woman first, and the woman would hold more. The woman would hold more of a position in the world than what current men do.
I see where you're going with it. I can acknowledge that I can acknowledge and respect that.
Because I ain't gonna lie. If, let's say I'm a woman and I'm making the world the way the world is, hands down, there's no way in hell you're ever duping me into going into the working world to be to say I'm gonna be equal to a man when you don't really want to be equal. Like, on one hand, I'm independent. I pay my own bills. I do my own shit. But you're paying for dinner because you're taking me out tonight. And you need to pay all the bills and take care of the kids and do all these different things too. The sexual aspect. When a man and a woman come together, whether we like it or not, that is a man literally taking a woman. Like, we are in full control of you. We are. There's no way, like, you're being overpowered. A man goes into a woman. If I am a woman, I am not putting myself in the demure position. I'm going to put myself as more of the hierarchy. I'm going to put myself as more of the top as opposed to being the bottom. I'm going to make myself stronger. I'm also going to make it where regardless of the situation, childbirth never is the most easiest, most common thing. And without a man, I can still make babies.
I see where you're going with it, but I still believe God is a woman. I still believe God is a woman.
She is crazy. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to go into a new part of the show, which is what we call rapid fire questions. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions and you just answer.
Okay.
Okay?
Ready.
You ready?
Wait, let me sit up. I'm sliding down a little bit. Let's see. Me and couches don't get along. They need to make couches for short people.
Little people couches.
Yes.
Okay. You ready? Do you
ready.
sleep naked?
No.
Have you ever been in love?
Yes.
Do you have tattoos?
Yes.
Do you love ice cream?
No.
Can any of your friends unlock your phone?
No.
Do you believe in fate?
Yes.
Dogs or cats?
Both.
Gotta be one or the other.
Dogs.
Calling or texting?
Call.
Your favorite cut of underwear?
Thongs.
How old were you when you had your first kiss?
I don't know. I don't even remember who my first kiss was.
Oh my God. That means he was horrible.
It wasn't good. Oh, maybe, I don't know. I think I was in like 7th grade. So however old you are then, I don't know.
Super strength or invisibility?
Invisibility.
Favorite sex position?
I don't know what it's called. The one where you laying down on your stomach and you...
And he straddles you from the back?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great position. And you, never mind. Clothes or shoes?
Clothes.
Watch
but
or
I'm becoming
necklace?
more of a shoe person. What?
Watch or necklace?
Watch.
Movie or series?
Series.
Dream car?
I don't really have one.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
What food can you not live without?
Pasta.
Current song playing in your car right before you came in here?
I'm pretty sure it was some frequencies. It don't even got a name.
Okay. Last book you read?
It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover.
Last time you watched porn?
Couldn't tell you. I don't watch porn.
One thing you will never do again?
Settle for less than what I deserve.
Who are you currently crushing on?
Nobody. Myself.
Favorite person right now?
I'll have to say my best friend Tiffany.
Who was your last kiss?
My last kiss was a man. It was a man.
The best part of the morning.
The best part of the morning. As soon as I open my eyes and take some deep breaths.
Okay, your worst fear.
My worst fear is dying without like my family and my loved ones really knowing how much I love them and really knowing who I am.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Favorite TV show?
I don't watch TV like that, so I don't got one.
Celebrity crush?
What's his name? Keith Powers.
Okay. Social media or hanging out?
Hanging out.
Dream career?
Dream career. Occupational therapist.
Okay. And what's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote. Well, right now, my favorite quote's changed. So right now, my favorite quote is, I searched for God and found only myself. And I searched for myself and found only God.
I like that. All right, and the last question of them all. What's the hottest podcast in the city?
No Capp reacts.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is rapid fire questions. You got any questions?
I don't.
Nothing?
How long have you been doing your podcast?
It'll be 4 years in either October, November, something like that. October, November.
Okay. And I think you told me a little bit about why. No, you told me what you talk about, but what made you want to start it?
So, initially, I wasn't doing podcasts. I was daily vlogging. I have multiple channels. And at that time, I was, well, I can't say was. At that time, I was really pushing my personal training. Mm-hmm. And I was recording all of my workouts and vlogging time with my youngest son and just everything as a whole, just having fun, enjoying life. And me and my friends decided to start a podcast where we talked about sports. So it was initially called No Capping, All Drip. Basically, no capping, like no lies, all drip, because I stay pretty fresh. We all pretty much stay pretty fresh. So we would just talk about everything and invite guests on and have like real conversations with real people, talk about real things, bring awareness to a lot of different things. And they fell off going on living life and doing their own thing. And well, I mean, I was the one that was financing all of this stuff because I do photography and videography. Mm-hmm. And I was already vlogging, etc. And this came about, and this has been, so my mom passed away a little bit over a year before, or a little under a year before I started my podcast.
Wow.
And I went through depression, etc., and went to go get like real help. Mm-hmm. And then this has also been part of my therapy, hence therapy session for one of the shows, because talking things through helps people get through things. And I look at the world that we're in today. Dating, horrible. Marriage, failing. The way our children are suffering from all of this. Mm-hmm. So if we as adults now today don't start having the right conversations, like ASAP, and bringing some sort of awareness, then it's going to get worse, and unfortunately it's going to affect our children. And I refuse, like, that is the truest version of what a generational curse is. We're cursing our children because these children are growing up without mothers and fathers, and they need both. And whether we like it or not, men and women need each other. Say the same way you need a man to make a baby is the same way I need a woman to make a baby.
Right.
So we also have to be together to raise said babies. And I think that's our biggest issue in the world that we live in today. And it's starting to really affect us all and hurt us in major ways. And I can say, me personally, I'm fucking tired of it. It's literally. So, and then seeing the way we are today, like as a whole, my grandparents were together forever and a day. My mom and dad were together forever and a day. And at some point in time, when you grow up having both and seeing that love, other people should experience that, because it's not just love. It's a level of loyalty, but it's also traditionalism. We have lost tradition, because love is a feeling. It comes and it goes. And you're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs. And I love something that Mrs. Obama most recently said is, for 10 years, she pretty much said she hated him, right? But like for 20 years, he's been absolutely amazing. So why would you throw away 20 years for 10? It doesn't make sense. And we're in a world where everything is so instant gratification. Mm-hmm. and the way social media is created. Like, I can go on social media right now. Clearly, I see your little sexy ass. And I see all the other sexy women on there, too. So, if I want an instant gratification, yeah, I can jump in your DMs. You respond. We have our conversation. Let's say I'm actually coming at you to hook up with you or whatever. I could constantly get instant gratification. But long term, I'm not building anything substantial.
Right.
And that doesn't make sense to me. So there's that aspect. I'm a very spiritual person, but I'm very much well versed in the Bible and the Quran. My grandfather was Muslim, my grandmother was Baptist. And I think our biggest issue between men and women today is we just don't understand each other. We're both saying the same shit. We're just saying it differently. But again, we're also in a society that really creates and puts a wedge in between us that helps break us up, and we don't realize it. I've said it. The moment they put wedding shows, marriage shows on TV is when they've now sensationalized what marriage is, which has lost its value. When you put dating on TV, you have now sensationalize it. It's lost its value. Now it's the shows about what the wedding dress shows, the most expensive honeymoons, and all those things. And unfortunately, a lot of women see that and they buy into that and they go, okay, this is what I deserve. Right? But to deserve something, like even the definition of deserve could be that of reward or that of punishment. So you get what you work for. And in the world we live in today, nobody wants to work for shit. They just want to give it to them.
Yeah.
And that's hurting us in a major way. And then, 1891 to 1913, they made it very clear to even the good old white man back then that to get rid of their multiple wives. Like 85% of the world has been in like a polygamous situation or polygamy, and men had multiple wives, and that's what created the world that we live in today and made it also peaceful. And well, women have always outnumbered men, so it kind of equaled it out at the same time, but money became the focus and taxes. So they needed to tax everybody equally. So once they created that, they had to break up the families. Two, upon that time, that's also when they released us. Well, shortly before that, released us from slavery. And well, even to this day in Africa, black men have had multiple black women. When they say it takes a village, well, the village is usually a couple of women, one or two men, which are usually brothers and their wives, and then a shit ton of children. And in order to break that family up yet again, you have to break the thought process. You have to indoctrinate them. You have to go after the woman and tell her you're extremely special. You deserve just this one man, and he should give you everything in the world. And if he doesn't, then he's not worthy of you. And when you look at that and you get it and you push it over time, well, we end up where we're at today. And, well, let me ask you this question. What man do you know, or what woman do you know right now that has never been cheated on? Or a man that has never cheated?
I really don't know any.
Exactly.
I don't, yeah.
It doesn't exist. Because every man, if you gave every man the option, he could be in what we call the most loving relationship in the world. But if his wife didn't care and she was like, go get some pussy, he's leaving. Great. Okay. Now let me go find some. And if she doesn't care, he's with it. And the crazy part about it is, if you look at women even today, every woman that you know in entertainment, the most beautiful and also richest, will put the top of the top at Beyonce. You catch your man doing something, do they leave?
You asking me?
Yeah.
If I
Did
can.
Beyonce leave Jay-Z?
Yeah, she didn't leave.
Correct. They never do. Why? Because whether we know it or not, everyone understands that for men, sex is just sex, which is why it's easy for men to have one night stands. And because we can just have sex and don't give a fuck. Right? And to throw away, so Beyonce's worth 435 million, Jay-Z's worth 1.2 billion. You're signed to him. He manages your career. He's the reason you have everything you have today. Plus, you have a billionaire, one of the most sought after men in the world. You would, and you have children with him. You would give up a position that that woman would die to have for a poke and shoot. What, 10 to 15 minutes of pleasure? No feelings involved, no babies, no nothing. Like, it doesn't make sense. And so many people do that today. Which goes back to, like, legacy. A lot of people talk about wealth and creating this financial future for their kids, etc. Right? But the moment anything hard comes along, they break up the family. I'm leaving you. You didn't do what I wanted you to do. So is it really about family, or is it just really about making one person, like there's one person in the 2-person relationship, and if one person's unhappy, the whole thing goes to shit. So these conversations need to be had. That's why I have this podcast. Some of the conversations make people very uncomfortable. We're uncomfortable talking about factual things.
Yeah.
And the moment it makes someone feel a certain way and they get in their feelings and emotions get involved, they clam up, they run away, they stop. But those will be the same ones that, like, 5 minutes later will be posting about how we need to heal and how we need to get over our traumas and do all these different things. And it's like, well, you were actually having that exact same conversation, but you allowed something that didn't make you feel comfortable because it didn't go your way dictate everything else for you.
Yeah. I think it goes back to, like, just people need to do more emotional work on themselves. You know, I think that's that fear of vulnerability that kicks in when we have these conversations. You know, even if you're not sharing anything necessarily personal or about yourself per se, you know, these conversations are very vulnerable because they expose us. Like, we talk about the collective, and you know, we're just reminded that we are a part of that collective.
Yeah, because, like, everyone, they get so mad. Why are you talking about in general? Well, the world we live in is general. Like, right now, you got 2 African Americans in this room. Guess what? We're part of the minority of the United States of America. They already put us in a general category. 50% of the black male species happen to be in prison. Okay? These are statistics that are real. We have a 56% divorce rate. That's a real statistic, which makes it really hard for men to get married, because it's like 56%. That means that I have more than half. There's more than half a chance that this is gonna fail, and 70 to 80% of women are leaving the men. So it's not that we're messing up. It's not that we're fucking up. It's not even that we're leaving women, which is why also there's these statements of deadbeat dads and how they leave their kids, but it's like they didn't. The women left them. And then the courts automatically give the kids to the mom. And if mom don't want to let you see your kids, you literally have to go fight for your right to see your child. So it's like the cards are stacked up against them, but these are real statistics. But in society, it's like, this is what it is. And there's these stigmas, but it's like the stigmas aren't even based in truth. A lot of women run around and say, well, I need my own career. I need my own money. So when he leaves me high and dry, I can take care of myself. But again, 70 to 80% of women are leaving men. How many of your boyfriends that you broke up with?
I've only had 2.
And did you leave both of them?
Yes.
See, so you're 100% for leaving your man.
Hey.
But this is the thing, like, it's not just you. It's a lot. There's been a lot of people that sit on this couch and have some of these conversations, right? And we have to look at like the reality of it. And the reality is we have to change what it is. And we also have to learn to be honest. Mm-hmm. Like, some of us got to hold our parents, moms and dads accountable for the bullshit because they didn't teach us correctly. Especially if it's a single mom who hid that she either had a fuckboy, a sneaky link, or a man on the side because she told her kids the whole time, like, I'm going to stay single until the kids are gone. And then she decides to date, but you're in your late 30s, early 40s when, again, you're not at your peak. Most men are not really they're not interested in that. Not for marriage, at least.
Yeah.
All right. And you're putting that in your children. So when your children, well, you've showed your children what a single parent home looks like, and then you haven't reiterated anything positive, and then you hid dating. So when they date, they're not even going to date correctly.
It's a cycle.
So it's about changing the tone, changing the rhetoric, changing what's out there, and getting to something that's better. And we always talk about love, but we're not living love. Mm-hmm. And that's what hurts. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
Any questions? Comments?
From me?
Yeah. Any questions or comments from you?
Questions, comments. I don't really have any more questions. But I will say I enjoyed this conversation. I forgot the camera was there. So
that's the best part about it. And what sucks is, but there's about to be a change in the studio in a couple of weeks where we will be more face to face instead of looking at the back of me.
Okay, that's a good change.
That would be much better, and that's how I always planned it. But unfortunately, the way this space is set up, it didn't really make it. It wasn't gonna make the cut. Mm-hmm. But coming soon. So, what are your thoughts of the podcast?
I liked it. You know, I'm glad you didn't ask me no wild questions. I mean, I'm all for it, but like.
I don't ask wild questions. Like, we used to have a show. Well, used to have a show called Freaky Friday, mm-hmm. and that's why we have that sound. And that's where things used to get a little wild and crazy, right? But it's also a call-in show, and I feel, me personally, I am very respectful, especially of the women. Even though people think I'm like so hard on them, or they'll be like, you're a misogynist. Like, girl, please. I love women. I love the way you look, the way you feel. I love you, the way you taste, everything. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And I have a daughter. I'm just more honest. And in having that show, I think it probably scared people away too. Mm-hmm. And I want something where people are willing to come and sit down, and I think I make people hella comfortable when they come here. They sit down on the couch. We have some real conversations. Mm-hmm. It's gotten deep in here, like really deep.
I'm sure.
And yeah, I want you to open up, people to open up and feel like they can open up. And this is a safe space. There's no judgment here. You'll find out you end up with a friend for life. If you need anything, I'm here. You need to promote something, just call me and say, hey, I want to be on the show again. Door is always wide open. So you are now officially No Cap family.
I love it. Yeah, let's do it again sometime.
So when is your show?
So the show is September 24th. So not this weekend. Next weekend.
It's 2 days before my birthday.
Okay, wait. So what is that? 26?
Yep.
All right. I'll have to remember that. But yes, it's September 24th at, I believe, 7 o'clock. I could be completely wrong. And
You're right.
6.
I know you're right. It's the 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. show and the 7 p.m. show.
No. We only got one now.
Oh.
We're only doing one showing. So we're doing the evening show. So 7 p.m.
Perfect.
September 24th. We are all sold out, though. So
you ain't got no tickets.
I don't have any tickets. We all out.
Even better.
Filled.
Glad everybody sold all their tickets. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Anything else you got coming up?
Anything else I have coming up? I will be walking in a fashion show called Eye to Eye, and that is I, the letter I, to EYEI. Yeah, more to come on that soon, though.
Whenever you get more information on that, again, come on, slide through, or I will let you know. When we do Fridays and Sundays or call-in shows, you are always available to call in and let the world know.
Okay.
What you got going on.
Good to know. I'll do that.
And then where can they find you at?
Divine Little C on IG and Twitter.
Spell C for them.
CI.
All right. So Divine, like the word, little, all spelled out.
Yep.
So DIVINELITTLECI, and that's on Instagram.
And Twitter.
And Twitter.
Yep.
You got them Twitter fingers.
Not so much anymore. I just be on there scrolling.
All right. What would be your last words to the people?
My last words. Well, it's Thursday. We got one more day in the work week. So keep your head up. Go to work. Do the bare minimum. Okay? Conserve your energy for your weekend and rest up and enjoy yourself when you are free.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune in this Friday. Also, Sunday, we got Sunday Night Live. Friday, oh man, I forgot. Tomorrow is a special edition Friday. It was requested. Jessica will be back. And is a requested Freaky Friday. She said she got some things she wants to talk about. And those things happen to be very... So tune in to that tomorrow. Sunday, we got Sunday Night Live. Tune in to Sunday night. We have Chef Ramsay. She's going to be on Sunday night. It's going to be a great show. And then Monday through Thursday, we got therapy session, just what you're watching right here, right now. And go ahead and hit hustlefit.com. Get your merch, ladies and gentlemen. Get your merch. Also, get the clothes that you see right there. And we're about to do a wonderful new drop. Specifically for the ladies, we got men's, women, and children's clothing. Men's, women, and children's clothing. Women is Vixen. I got 3 baddies that are due to hit. Oh, and we do have a special show coming up on Saturday. He's coming all the way from Miami, Florida to hit the show. Goes by Jack Daniels. So tune in to that. Outside of that, I want to say thanks for tuning in for another episode here on No Cap Reacts. I'm your man Bailey, a.k.a. Mr. Go